Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Heal You. You know, the space where healing meets intention, growth meets grace, and self care becomes more than a task. It becomes a lifestyle. Here I am again, another week with your host, Shai. And as always, thank you for being here today. You know, before we dive into this week's episode, let's take a moment to revisit last week's episode, When Peace Becomes Unfamiliar. It was a powerful reminder that even peace requires practice. We explored what it means to reclaim stillness after chaos, to sit with ourselves when the noise fades, and to choose healing even when it feels uncomfortable. If you're learning how to rest in your own growth, how to trust the quiet, that episode, my friends, was made for you. Go back and listen, mark it, favorite it. It'll encourage you to keep showing up for your peace, even when it doesn't feel natural yet. And this week kicks off a 2-part series on something so many people are struggling with right now. Staying grounded when life feels like it just won't sit still. This first part is all about identifying the small but powerful actions that keep us anchored. Next week, in part 2, we'll take those actions deeper, exploring how to keep your grounding practices consistent through longer seasons of change. Today's episode, my friends, is rooted in the self-care checklist page from my Bloom journal. So if you got your copy, go ahead and turn to that page right now. And if you don't have one yet, all right, here's my shameless plug. Go on and visit creativelyshy.com and grab yours. Because friends, this isn't just an episode. It's an activation. All right, let's get started. Let me ask you something. How do you stay grounded when everything around you feels unstable? I'm talking about those weeks where your schedule keeps changing. Your peace feels fragile. Your body is tired. And your mind is loud. You feel like you're constantly reacting instead of creating, running on autopilot instead of living with presence. When life just won't sit still, it's tempting to spin with it, to match the chaos with motion, to wear busy like a badge. But staying grounded doesn't mean staying still. It means staying anchored. Ooh, staying anchored. It means choosing intention over impulse, presence over panic. And sometimes that anchor is found in the smallest, quietest things. Like drinking before you scroll your phone. A pause that says, I choose me first. Like going to bed without just one more episode. Honoring your rest instead of your distractions. Woo! I think that one's going to hit a couple of people. Like taking 3 deep breaths before you answer that call. Do it with me. In and out. In and out. In and out. Just like that. Because your peace, friends, is not up for negotiation. Like flipping open your Bloom journal or any journal and asking yourself a simple question like, what do I need today? And actually listening to your answer. Those are the moments that root us. They remind us we are not powerless in a shifting world. They whisper, you've got this. Even when nothing feels steady. All right. Let's talk about the self-care checklist. It's found in your journal after the mindful breathing exercise. This page might look simple, but it's packed with power. It's your reminder that taking care of yourself doesn't have to be overwhelming. It just has to be intentional. Here are a few things on that list for those of you without the journal. Drink a glass of water in the morning. Plan out your week in advance. Take regular breaks. Even if they're 3 to 5 minute breaks, take the breaks. Go for a long walk. Watch a lighthearted movie, something that makes you laugh a little bit. Ooh, and this is a big one. No screen time before bed. How many people actually set sleep mode on their phones so it shuts down automatically to give yourself a chance to relax without distractions? How many people set a sleep timer on their TV to shut off during the night so your mind has an opportunity to relax? For those of you that do it, great job. I'm proud of you. For those who don't, try it. Start making it an intentional task and see what happens. You know, one of my favorite self-care items these days is my walks, both the long and the short ones. The goal every day is 10,000 steps. I try to take a 30-minute walk at least twice a day, and then sneak in 3 or 4 quick 5 to 10-minute walks when I can break away from the computer. I have my own accountability partner with me, though. My puppy makes this a requirement. But I found these walks bring the grounding I need. Even more so when I leave my phone in the house. That's when my thoughts settle. My focus sharpens. And I remember there's a whole world outside of my notifications and my dings. And friends, you don't have to do them all. Choose a self-care item that connects you to you. Start small if you need to. One choice, one action at a time. These small acts of care are your reset buttons your recalibration moments. And when the ground feels like it's shifting, these are the practices that help you stand steady. Recently I had a week where nothing made sense. Everything I planned had to be rearranged. I felt off center, and peace felt like something I had to chase. But instead of spiraling, guess what? I paused. I pulled out my checklist. I circled 3 things I needed to do. Listen to my favorite music. Breathe in and out. Deep breaths. Cut back on social media scrolling. That was enough. Enough to breathe deeper. Enough to remind myself I'm still here. Enough to feel like I was standing on solid ground again, even while the world around me continues to shift. Try it. It's worth it. So let's have a grounding moment. Let's do it. Wherever you are, take a deep breath in and out. Now let's do it again. In and out. You feel your shoulders drop and your body soften. Pull out your journal, your Bloom journal. Let it meet you where you are today. Flip to your self-care checklist page, your personalized toolkit for grounding. Now go ahead. If you have the journal, circle 3 things you'll commit to doing this week. If you don't have the journal, write down 3 things for yourself you commit to doing this week. Not for productivity, not for perfection, just for your peace. Maybe it is a long walk, a music break, or 5 intentional minutes with no screen in sight. And remember, whatever you choose it with love. Let this be your anchor when life gets loud. When the ground moves, your rituals hold you. And when you feel yourself drifting, come back here to the breath, to the page, to yourself. You owe it to yourself. And remember, friends, peace doesn't come from controlling your environment. Peace comes from creating stability within yourself, even in the messy, real moments. You can stay grounded, not because everything's perfect, but because you're learning to choose yourself again and again. And sometimes staying grounded actually looks like crying in the shower, crying when you're driving, then laughing at a meme 5 minutes later. I know that's me. It's messy. It's real. It's you. And you're doing better than you think. No matter how shaky the ground gets, you, my friends, have what it takes to stand strong. And when you don't feel strong, you still got heart. You still got breath. You still got you. That's more than enough to keep going. That fills your cup, friends. That prepares you for all of the chaos going on around you. All right. Today we explored how to identify and use grounding practices when life feels unstable. We did a quick review of last week's topic, chaos, how it creeps in, how it throws us off, and how easy it is to get swept up in it. We got honest about the noise. And we got clear on the grounding tools that gently lead us back to ourselves. If there's one thing I want you to take away from part 1, it's this. You are allowed to create stillness even in the middle of a storm. You don't have to wait for life to slow down before you take care of yourself. In fact, taking care of yourself is what you need the most. Next week in part 2, we'll go deeper, talking about how to keep those habits alive when you're in a long season of change, when this shift is happening. And we'll talk about how to adapt them when life demands more from you than usual. If you haven't done so already, if you haven't jotted it down as a task, go over to www.creativelyshy.com and grab your copy of the Bloom Journal so you can follow along and put these practices into motion. And if this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who might be feeling unsteady right now. Subscribe, leave a review, and keep this conversation going with me on Instagram and Facebook at Creatively Shai and on TikTok at Coach Shai Speaks. Remember, you've got the tools, you've got the strength, and you've got the power to stay grounded no matter how much the ground moves. Have a great week. I'll see you soon.